What's up, y'all? This is day 15 of the restoration project. If I seem like I'm a little bummed out right now, it's because I just recorded like 5 minutes of video, and instead of like just continuing and not, my wife called me. She's on her way to work too, so you don't know if she's got an emergency or whatnot. So I answered, and apparently my video is completely gone. So that's a little disturbing. Yeah, that's a little better. Now I can see you. So anyway, it's January 22nd, 2018. This is day 15 of the restoration project. The weekend was kind of crazy, and I messed up. I'll tell you why in a minute, but I'm actually only down 8 pounds again, not 10, and that's my fault. And it's my fault because I didn't go to the gym, and we went out and had a good time Saturday. So here's what we did. And there's a live broadcasted video that we did after this, but you can take a look at that later. But this is I need to do a restoration project video. So Saturday, well, back in August, my wife tells me we're going to the Price is Right. I'm like, what the hell you mean? We're going to go to Burbank or wherever, in LA? She goes, no, they're having a live show in Chandler in January. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And then she tells me that it's a live show. And I'm like, so they're doing a taping here in Chandler? That's weird. And she goes, no, I don't think it's taping, but whatever. So we get over here, and it's like going to a play. They're on stage, So, except unlike a play, like when you go see a Midsummer Night's Dream, they don't call you up to the stage and you have a chance to win a car, So, went to that Saturday. We thought we got there early because it says the doors open at 5. The show starts at 8. So, please try to get there a little early. So we got there, what we thought was a little early. We got there just about 5. The line was almost around the whole building. So we had to wait. And then there was more people that showed up after that. So it was a little bit of craziness. But we had a good time. The line actually moved pretty quick. I mean, here's where I messed up, though. We went across the street to Jack in the Box. And I got tacos. So that's my fault there. And then, anyway. So here's the craziness, though, that happened Saturday. There's 1,500 people. This is a sold out show. There's 1,500 people in the auditorium, and it's a sold out show. But they call like 4 people up to bid on prizes. The one that gets it closest without going over, just like the Price is Right. Except on the Price is Right, when you get called up for the contestant, you don't have to go back to your seat after one game. You stay there and they just call one more person. So that happened. And then so they ended up calling, and then after each game they called 2 more names for a $25 gift card to Amazon or Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever it was. So I added up the total people that got called. It was 31 out of the 1,500. So of 31 people, you got about a 2% chance of having your name pulled. And my wife got her name pulled. That's pretty low odds of getting pulled, but she did. And she got pulled for the showcase. Now, on the Real Price is Right, you get 2 different showcases with all these fabulous prizes, and each person bids on their own showcase, and whoever gets it closest to the total price without going over wins both showcases. Well, that's not the case at this stage show. At the stage show, they had one showcase, and it had some kitchen appliances, like a top of the line blender, mixer, whatever. And then they had a big screen TV with a surround sound system, all good things. And then there was a Kia Soul and a trip to Rome and a trip to New York. And I'm adding all that up in my head, and I lean over to the woman sitting next to me, and I says, this ought to be about $26,000. And I'm thinking I'm lowballing it because you don't want to go over. And then my wife puts up this thing, $26,100, and I'm like, holy crap. She's like, within $100 of what I was thinking. How weird is that? That is insane. Like, I had her phone. I had no way of telling her, no way of communicating her, and she picks $100 off of what I was thinking. That's a healthy marriage right there. Anyway, so the guy that's against her, he says $23,750, and I'm thinking, oh shit, if she went over, he's gonna win. And then the host comes up and he's like, and the actual retail price is $21,000 something. I'm like, oh no, and they both went over, right? And then I'm kind of like, at first you're all in the moment of the game, so oh, that sucks, oh, that's terrible, ooh, oh, and then I get outside and I'm like, wait a second, there was a brand new car and it's not an SUV, mind you. It might be a small size SUV because it's a Kia Soul. It's a 4-door. I mean, it's not a Chevy Tahoe by any imagination of the mind, but it is. It's like a Jeep. So in my head, when I was calculating all this up, I'm like, okay, $4,000 for maybe $1,200 for the trip to New York, low end. Maybe $4,000 to the trip to Rome, and then maybe $12,000 for the Kia whatever, and then the entertainment center probably another $1,000, and then all this. I'm thinking, okay, and I'm thinking low end. I'm like, I'm not even calculating hotels in there for New York and Rome and food money. So I came up with about $26,000. Because I'm thinking low end, that's still a viable number. So I get outside, I Google it as soon as we get outside. And guess what? A Kia Soul retails, manufacturer's suggested retail price is $16,200. So that only leaves a room of about $5,000 for a trip to Rome, a trip to New York, a large screen TV with a surround sound system, and those kitchen appliances. So there's no way that it's only $5,000. Oh, and a trip to Rome. There's no way a trip to Rome. And they said from Phoenix. They were very specific about flying from Phoenix to Rome. So I Googled that too. A trip for two to Rome from Phoenix. The tickets are almost $3,000 each. There's no way that they didn't cheat. There's no way. It's just not possible. Unless they were buying them from Kneecap Louie. So anyway, we're not mad about it though. She did get a consolation prize even though she lost. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because it's getting a little wordy, getting a little lengthy. But like, comment, subscribe. Day 15 goes forward. We got a nice little chicken salad for lunch. And I think I got an apple in there too. Anyway, I'll talk to you either tomorrow or Wednesday.